Hey, it's Paula Finch. This is going to be part 2 of my final paper for my myth class. The air just kicked back on again, so I'm sorry for that noise. I have about 3 more pages. I'm probably going to include the citations and stuff. So, yeah. Okay. Calvino's writing isn't about the death aspect of the myth. He knows why people stay dead. Rather, his focus is on presenting Pluto in a different light. Knowing this, you might make various interpretations of why he's doing this. What Calvino did was give you insight on the original antagonist, Pluto's, view of things. It's almost as if Calvino was trying to get us to sympathize with the quote-unquote villain. The question is, why is Calvino trying to paint Pluto differently? Is his intention to make Pluto the hero of this myth? According to Campbell's interpretation of a hero, the answer is no. Quote, in Campbell's view, the hero follows a well-defined path. End quote, Campbell 137. This version of Pluto does not go on a journey or go through the stages Campbell says the hero goes through. He never departs, meaning he never returns. He doesn't go through any trials or victories. He actually lost what his quest would be, as he didn't go to the center with Eurydice. Thus, Pluto wouldn't be considered a hero because he never did the hero's journey. If Calvino's intention wasn't to make Pluto the hero, then what was his intent of transfiguring the myth? An interpretation from this is that Calvino's trying to make a political statement during the time it was written. Maybe Calvino's purpose of making the other Eurydice, in Pluto's perspective, is to mirror the villain's perspective of World War II. Pluto is the original myth. In the original myth, was the quote-unquote villain, while Orpheus was the hero. When mirrored to the 1940s, Italy was considered a villain in the eyes of the Allies for siding with Germany. So with Pluto representing Italy, maybe Calvino wanted to show another side of Italy, because we often only see things from one side and act ignorant to any internal conflicts that may be going on. Calvino's early work, quote, required its readers to approach it with some understanding of the history of that culture and its period. End quote, re 4. So it's not unthinkable that there are layers to his work. His early works also, quote, deeply marked by the vibrant atmosphere of the post-war Reconstruction and neo-realist movement, end quote, read 2. So it really could be Calvino inversion, this variation to mirror Italy and its relation to the rest of the world. By making this myth from Pluto's perspective, you gain insight on his thoughts and his troubles, something you don't see in Ovid's version. You see that although he's portrayed as a powerful god who reigns over the dead, he still has troubles, and that there are things he can't control. In this sense, it could represent Italy with how everyday citizens couldn't control their involvement in the war or who their leader was. Some, if not the majority, probably didn't agree with the fascist state of the country their country was in. Although a majority of the world pointed them as a villain for their stance during the war, they still had the burdens of the war. Calvino could be using Pluto as a medium to project that people should start to think deeper than face value, as well as trying to show that although they are associated with quote-unquote the wrong side, Italy was facing similar problems as the quote-unquote right side, in addition to all the scrutiny. Another interpretation is that Italy is mirroring Eurydice. In Ovid's older version, there was no mention of Eurydice wanting to be no mention if Eurydice wanted to be brought back to life and flee back to the land of the living. It was told with the focus of Orpheus wanting to be with her again. This means Calvino added that detail in his own version. This could be representative of Italy wanting to flee their current situation, being scrutinized as well as being under the reign of Mussolini. Like how Eurydice eventually escaped, Italy was free from Mussolini's reign in July of 1943, and soon left the Axis powers and joined the Allies in October of 1943, successfully fleeing from their situation somewhat. So if he wrote this after the event of World War II, he could be looking back on the history and writing it how he remembered feeling under the guise of retelling. Sorry. So if he wrote this after the event of World War II, he could be looking back on history and writing it how he remembered feeling under the guise of making a retelling of the myth. However, this is all an interpretation. Calvino even said, quote, what books communicate often remains unknown, even to the author himself, that books often say something different from what they are set out to say, end quote, re 4. Meaning, maybe we are getting different interpretations of what is the intention. In this way, the context of the time period can alter the way you interpret or view something. When looking at it from different contexts, you get details that had previously been looked over, and overall gain a better understanding of the myth, as well as maybe some of the author's thoughts. From myths, you can gain insight on the values of culture of the time period they're written in. The interpretations you gain from each may not exactly be what the author was aiming for, but their stories make you think and look deeper, providing meaning that was subconsciously put there. After applying the new context, you can look through the work with a new lens and find even more details that may be the key to another interpretation. Doing this over and over gives you a deeper understanding of the myth, as well as context of values from society then. And society then. It just may take some digging to find it. By learning more through outside sources, you gain the context needed to understand any underlying messages the author is trying to tell you, as all the pieces of work contain some influence from the time it was written, intentionally or not. So that was the end of my essay. This is the work cited. Calvino, Italo, Numbers in the Dark, Nop Doubleday Publishing Group, 2009. Campbell Joseph, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, Thurine Divini, pages 137 to 142. Metamorphoses, Clin 10, The Ovid Collection, University of Virginia E-Tech Center. It's a link, access 12th of April 2022. Lucia, Calvino and the Age of Neorealism, Fables of Estrangement, Stanford University Press, 1990. Thury, Eva M. and Margaret K. Divini, editors, Introduction to Mythology, Contemporary Approaches to Classical and World Myths, Oxford University Press, 2004. So that's the end of the second part. The reason why I have to break it up into two is because I've tried this before. Like, my intro video originally was like 30 minutes long, and I tried uploading it, and it was like, it can't be more than 15 minutes long if you don't have like a certain amount of subscribers, a certain amount of views, blah 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 blah. And so I just try to keep everything under 15-minute views, and I didn't know how long this video was going to be, so I didn't want to make like a 14-minute video and then like a 3-minute video. But it seems pretty even, because like right now it's like 11 and 7 or 11 and 8, whatever. But yeah, that's my final paper that I got a 95 on. So yeah, pretty cool. That's gonna be all from today. For a while maybe, who knows? You never know anymore. But yeah, until next time, bye.